My brothers, we got to start taking more risk. Risk takers are money makers. Risk takers change the world. If you avoid risk, you are still at risk. There's no such thing as a safe investment. There's no such thing as an absolute guarantee, as much as some of us may believe that to be the case. And anybody that presents something as a risk-free investment really doesn't understand the nature of life. Chaos can come at any moment. Nature is a perfect example of this. Things could be extremely calm, beautiful, steady, and then just like that, everything changes. Light turns to dark. The earth shakes from underneath you. I mean, Mother Nature is chaotic. And so is life. You know, you might be thinking right now, everything's absolutely safe and secure, but then a financial crisis happens. Your safe investment now holds no value, or the value has plummeted significantly. I'm not saying this to be negative. I'm saying this to encourage you to go out there and take massive risks, because you cannot avoid risk. You cannot. You know, as Jim Rohn used to say, right? If you think the bill for trying is expensive, wait until you're handed the bill for not trying. That's even bigger. Right? There are activities that are uncomfortable to engage in, that you may perceive as risky. But not engaging in these activities is going to put you more at risk later on down the line. For example, the gym. Lifting heavy, I mean, there's a risk you might pop a shoulder if your form is incorrect, or the weight is too heavy that you may not be able to keep it up if you're benching, right? And that's why having a spot is helpful. But, you know, some guys are genuinely anxious about lifting weights for that reason, because they don't think that it's safe or that they're capable of doing it. But if you don't work out, if you don't lift heavy shit, later on down the line, your body's going to be at more risk of developing health conditions. So if you do what is hard today, as Les Brown said, your life will be easy. And if you do what is easy today, in the future, your life will be hard. So we must confront difficulty head on. If there's something that you've wanted to do for a long time, do it now. Make the investment. What is stopping you? It's risky both ways, as we've just established. There's a beautiful quote from Jim Rohn, which is, indecision is the thief of opportunity. I'm going to say that again. Indecision is the thief of opportunity. If you don't decide, opportunities will go, and you'll miss out. You'll miss out. Somebody else will come and say, you know what, this is a great opportunity. Let me go for it. I don't need to think about every minor detail. We're all going to die, for goodness sakes. Some opportunities, you just have to say, yeah, makes good sense. Fuck it. Those two words, fuck it. Everything that you do teaches you something. So you still learn from every experience that you go through. No experience is wasted. So if you invest in something and you give it your best and you do it properly, you don't fuck around, and it doesn't quite go your way, you haven't lost everything. You've learned. You've developed your skill sets. You've become better in the process of engaging in that action. So with that philosophy, That should encourage you to go out there and do as much as possible, take as much risk, because oftentimes the bigger the risk, the bigger reward. And that's one thing that you got to factor in. But also character development. Think about it from the perspective of character development. This is going to truly transform me. If you're sat safe in the corner and you don't do anything with your life, you don't grow. You stay the same guy. And I don't even want to use the word stay, because you get worse. If you put anything away and you don't use it, oftentimes it starts to go bad, right? This applies to so many things. If you have a car, a classic car, or even a modern car, and you put it away for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you never turn it on, you never open the doors and test the electronics, and you don't do any of that stuff, it will develop issues. It's that analogy, right? If you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't engage in the motions, if you don't engage in the process, then you will become worse. A lack of use leads to loss. Right now, this is deeply engraved in who I am. If there's an opportunity, I'm going for it. And it makes sense, I'm going for it. I don't need to know every detail. I don't need a 47-page business plan. And some of you guys, you're too cautious. You're way too cautious, unnecessarily cautious. Some of you guys are worried about a $50 investment. $50, $100, $500. In the grand scheme of things, if you have the audacity to want to turn your life around for the better, and there is an investment that is required to develop your skill sets, whether you're taking a course on plumbing, on, you're doing a mechanics course or whatever, or a trading course, or whatever it may be that you're looking to develop your skill sets on. If you don't want to make that investment, that means you don't want to pay the price to improve, because that price has to be paid. And monetary oftentimes, but also you're paying with a portion of your life when you're learning something. And it takes time to do something to become better at it, right? Yeah, a lot of people are sat on the sidelines these days waiting for guarantees. Yeah, but what's the guarantee it'll work out? What's the guarantee? And they keep asking that question until they're old, until the window of opportunity has passed. Now you can't take risks in the same way that you once could when you were 25. No, I'm a big believer that as long as you're alive and you're above ground, you can make changes. Absolutely you can. But there are certain opportunities that you won't be able to aggressively pursue in the same way as you get older. You can't. If you're 27, 28, you don't have any kids, you got a good job, you got your own place, man, your place should be your HQ, your headquarters. You work, you build towards something. You don't sit there cautious. Because 4 kids later and a wife and a mortgage payment, you're not able to take risks in the same way. Now, I'm not saying that you should let your kids get in the way of your dreams. Not at all, because having children, from the conversations I've had with friends that do have kids, they all say that it changes you. It gives you that new fire. It lights a fire in you, right? But it shouldn't take having kids to do that. You should be self-driven. You should be extremely hungry. You should be thinking about your kids, even if you don't have kids. So if you're right now a single guy, you don't have a partner or kids, work like you do. Make decisions like you do. You know, when you have children, you want to give them the world, right? You want them to grow up in a very, beautiful, loving home and have incredible opportunities ahead for them in life. The dad lays the path for his children to go out there and do the things that they want to do, explore their possibilities. But you want to create an environment where you can cultivate success. It starts with the dad. What they see you do is what they will go on to do themselves. You set the example. You don't want to suddenly switch on 3 kids deep. You've neglected your first 2 children because you were a bum of a father. And now you want to, don't get me wrong, that's still a positive change. If you go from being a bum of a father to developing yourself, okay, at least you're making a change for the better. But don't wait until your kids are older or until you have your 3rd or 4th kid to start to get your shit together, right? So guys, if you don't have kids right now, lock in. This is the perfect opportunity to really go all in, to take massive action. Trust me, when you engage in the action, the answers come. Right now, you're sat at the starting line thinking of all the possible reasons this will go bad. Or the possible reasons where, this will fail. You'll come up with BS reasons. Oh, we're underfunded. It's too saturated, the market. And you'll come up with all these BS excuses to get in the way of you doing the work. You're just scared. And as they say, scared money don't make money. You can't be scared and rich. Right? I mean, courage, as they say, is not the absence of fear, but it's doing the work regardless of the fear. But you cannot let the fear paralyze you. The fear will be there, but you have to act in spite of the fear. I'm going to do this. I'm scared, but I'm going to do this. I'm not going to let my fear paralyze me. Everything that you want, gentlemen, is on the other side of fear. That life that you want, that partner that you want to have, it's on the other side of fear. You have to say to yourself, I'm going to do this. And I refuse to get in my own way. I refuse to get in my own way. I'm doing this for me. Is this going to be easy? Hell no. But I'm down for a challenge. I want to see what I'm capable of. The man that I become in the process is far more important to me than the material gain. If you look at success that way, success will continue to find you because you're not solely chasing the success. You're chasing the man that will attract the success, right? Be that man today. People that change the world, they're not sat on the sidelines biting their fingers, analyzing what the competition's doing and never taking action. No, they're taking action. They make mistakes, they lose money. It is what it is. Okay, let's go again. They brush themselves off. Let's go again. Let's go again. They're resilient. They believe in themselves. They don't let failure stop them. And I say failure in quotes because, as I've said in previous videos, the only true failure is giving up. But making mistakes along the way, that's supposed to happen. You're not supposed to start something, then boom, get it straight away. No, that's not how the world works. As they say, the harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. If it took you a lot of ups and downs and trials and tribulations to get there, you're going to appreciate the end result far more. So guys, let's lock in. Let's take risks. Enough, procrastinating. Enough with the whole, but it's risky. It's risky. What's the guarantee? Fuck that shit. You're going to stay where you are. Don't believe me? Okay, don't take any action. See where that takes you in 5 years. Thanks for watching. Give this video a like, comment, let me know what you think down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.